Hi there, my name is Jameson from Mystique Global Consulting. The high-tech industry in the United States is experiencing rapid growth. This means that there are significant opportunities for expansion overseas. Today, I'm happy to be sharing insights with you that we found about the United States market that will aid our decision when deciding which overseas markets to expand to first. Before we can jump into this analysis, it is first important to understand the methodology that we will be using to help guide our decision-making process. This methodology was developed using Tableau data about the United States market, the 4 Ps of marketing, and a pestle analysis. A Tableau analysis of the United States market will help us better understand what is and is not occurring in this market. Once we have determined these results, we can test our assumptions using certain null hypotheses. We will then use the outcomes of these null hypotheses to influence our 4 Ps of marketing, or what products, place, price, and promotional techniques we will use for our expansion overseas. Once we've determined which products to use and how to market them, we can conduct a pestle analysis to determine which overseas countries provide the most benefits while also including the least risk. The first null hypothesis that we will be testing is the type of product a company sells does not affect their revenue. When analyzing the US market, one of the most important areas to first focus on is determining which products and services are generating the most revenue. This gives us a good idea of what product categories are working and what ones to avoid when expanding internationally. Utilizing a cluster analysis in Tableau, we can see that productivity software, smartphones, and cloud services are generating the most annual revenue for companies. Though we will need further analysis, this gives us a good indication of what product categories are generally working and which product categories to avoid. The second hypothesis that we will be testing is there is no difference between products with the highest revenue and products that are generating the highest margins. When making the decision to expand internationally, we should use products that are generating the highest profit margin to decrease our risk as much as possible. In this Tableau analysis, we can see that the majority of high profit margin products are services such as productivity software, cloud services, and social media applications. The results of these first 2 hypotheses help to indicate that for our product, or one of our first 4 Ps, we should use productivity software, cloud services, and social media applications to expand overseas. The reason why these services provide the highest profit margin in relation to other product categories is of the benefits that software and services have. Software is flexible and easily deployed, whereas hardware is expensive and has enormous fixed costs. The third hypothesis that we will be testing is there is no difference between a company's cloud provider and its annual revenue. This tests our assumption that the cloud provider a company is using is irrelevant to the revenue they then receive. The results show that there is a significant difference between who a company chooses as their cloud provider and the amount of revenue they receive. Companies using Microsoft as their cloud provider are generating significantly more revenue as opposed to companies using Amazon Web Services or Google's cloud. These results are especially interesting when we compare the market shares of these cloud providers. High-tech companies as a whole should most likely use Microsoft as their cloud provider, and cloud providers should determine what Microsoft is doing so they can emulate it. The fourth hypothesis that we will be testing is there is no correlation between marketing investment and client acquisition and net income. The results of this hypothesis will help us determine one of the 4 Ps, promotion. Here we can see that there is a clear positive correlation between how much companies spend on marketing activities and how much net income they then receive. This means that regardless of what countries we decide to expand into, we should delegate a significant portion of money towards marketing and client acquisition. The fifth hypothesis that we will be testing is that the product category does not affect a company's gross margin. Though we know what products are working, it is equally important to understand which promotional channels to go through and what type of customers to target, B2B or B2C customers. Here, we can see that B2C customers provide the lion's share of revenue across virtually every single product line. Therefore, this should be our preferred channel and preferred target market. These hypotheses have informed us on how high-tech companies should promote and target their products. High-tech companies should spend a significant portion of their money on marketing activities such as paid advertising, and they should target their software towards the B2C market. Though these hypotheses have helped us determine the product and promotional techniques we will use, we still need to conduct further analysis to determine where to sell our product and how to price our product. This tableau analysis illustrates our place of the 4Ps framework and shows us that we should expand into markets with economies and cultures that are similar to where products are generating the most revenue in the US. Additionally, we should price our products similar to how we are currently pricing them in these markets and expand into countries whose economies mirror these regions. In summary, we have chosen to use software services and applications as our preferred product. We will promote them through substantial paid marketing directed towards the B2C market, and price and place them in regions that have the same underlying economic inputs as the regions in the US where sales are currently going very well. PESTLE is a framework used by marketers to analyze how external factors will impact an organization or an industry. We will be using a PESTLE analysis to determine which overseas markets provide the highest benefits and the least risks, by determining which markets have the most similar inputs to that of the United States. Here, we can see that the countries of Canada, Australia, and New Zealand all provide safe and stable economies that have market fits for the services we are selling. Therefore, we will choose to expand to these countries first. Though other markets such as India and China have significant populations that we could market our products to, as this is our first international expansion, we should move into overseas markets that are likely to have the best outcomes. After we succeed in these markets, we can work backwards to countries, cultures, and economies that are more distant to the US. In summary, we are going to expand into New Zealand, Australia, and Canada, use SaaS products such as productivity software, cloud services, and social media applications, delegate a significant amount of money towards marketing and client acquisition, and target our products towards the B2C market. That concludes our recommendations. Thank you for sharing your time with us. We hope you found our analysis insightful, and we're happy to answer any questions that you do have.